On the morning of 7th May 2026, Mumbai became the meeting ground for India's most influential logistics and supply chain leadership. The CargoNXT West India edition brought together over 150 delegates, 100 plus CXOs, and 25 plus speakers, policymakers, port authorities, customs officials, and industry leaders under one agenda, shaping the future of India's supply chains. The summit began with the traditional lighting of the inaugural lamp, an act that has long symbolized the sharing of knowledge and the beginning of meaningful dialogue. The stage was graced by four distinguished dignitaries: former secretaries of the Government of India, Port Authority leadership, and infrastructure policy architects. Rarely does one platform bring together this depth of policy and industry experience. CargoNXT co-founders Jatin Sahni and Yogita Bhurani welcomed the room not just as hosts but as architects of a platform where India's logistics leadership finds a shared voice.
We would like to thank each one of you present here, our guest of honors, our chief guests, our partners, and all the other distinguished guests sitting here to attend this summit. We warmly welcome you to the CargoNXT edition 2026 Mumbai. We look forward to a great day ahead with all of you, all the knowledge, all the sessions that we have coming lined up.
Let's make this day full of insightful discussions, meaningful collaborations, and forward-thinking perspectives shaping the future of cargo and logistics.
The keynote address was delivered by Shri Gaurav Dayal, chairperson of India's premier container port, JNPA, a leader whose daily decisions touch every container that moves through India's western maritime gateway.
India is becoming a major global manufacturing and export hub under the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, Make in India, and our aspiration to become a $5 trillion economy. More than 95% of India's trade by volume moves through maritime routes. Therefore, resilient ports, efficient logistics systems, and diversified supply chains are no longer optional, they are strategic national priorities. At JMPA, India's premier container port, we understand this responsibility. Despite global disruptions, our focus remains clear: enhancing port capacity, reducing logistics costs, improving turnaround time, building resilient supply chains, and leveraging technology for efficiency. All these are part of our priorities. JNPA continues to play a critical role in handling India's EXIM trade. With the commissioning of new terminals and expansion projects, our capacity is increasing significantly. We are investing heavily in digitization of port processes, paperless documentation, smart logistics systems, green port initiatives, and multimodal connectivity. Our connectivity through dedicated freight corridor, expressways, rail infrastructure, and upcoming logistic parks will significantly strengthen cargo evacuation efficiency.
Three guests of honor followed, each bringing a distinct perspective shaped by decades in government, trade policy, and infrastructure execution.
Now, the way we look and the way I think the world will probably shape up is either incremental or exponential. I think time alone will tell. Let me share some nuances in a contemporary landscape. The geopolitical strategic sphere is completely, I think, altered very radically. I think that could probably be a cliche or an understatement to say. I think the way I would look at it is there are a few aspects which need to be sort of dealt with. But before I do that, let me just run a few set of numbers for you so that you get a sense of perspective here. The World Bank data, which is released sometime in 2024, and that's the last available data as on date. The global GDP is around 190 to about $120 trillion. So that gives you a sense of what and how do we contextualize EXIM trade too. And if you run that concurrently with another set of number which was released by the World Trade Organization around the same time, dating back to 2024, the monetized value of both merchandise goods and services was of the order of around $35 billion. You look at 120 to 35, so that gives you a sense of how salient this industry is. But if you look at the current strains and stresses which are now gradually developing, I think in the near term, I think the EXIM trade is going to take a hit, but hopefully there will be resilience and there's going to be a rebound.
Shri Vijay Singh Chauhan brought evidence-led precision to the conversation, challenging the industry to demand data and confront the gap between perception and reality in India's trade clearance systems.
And what are we trying to do? We actually are committed to the idea of evidence-based policy making. Lot of conversation in India happen without being anchored in data. And my senior colleague Deepak Shakti sir was speaking about the participation of the trade. When we are looking at trying to streamline the trade, international trade so to say, There are 4 things we need to do. First, we need to reduce trade costs. 2, we need to reduce trade time. 3, we need to reduce uncertainty. And the 4th one is we need to reduce complexity. Each one of them, there is a gap between what the perception is and what the reality is. Perception being of the policymakers as well as the stakeholders who may not be aware. Committed to this idea of evidence-based policy making, which required the data on the table to be made available, we had, let's begin with trade time. The gap between the perception and the reality is stupendous.
Shri Abhijit Sinha connected the national vision of mobility transformation to logistics, from vehicle-to-vehicle communication to electronic highways and the decarbonization of freight corridors.
That's the speed of policy making that we have achieved. What Sir said, and our previous speaker also said, that the policy making is not like before. It is evidence-based, it is making a sense, and I like that word which Sir said, that you have to dirty your hand into policy making and consultation, and everything is happening. People have to come. But economy has gone beyond consultation. Economy demands today technical trials, prototypes, dry runs, trees that are going to give you clarity that this is how we are going to build the policy. We're not going to do copy paste, and I'm very categorically happy to say that not also going to be a consultant driven policy in India. It is, the time is gone. We have to bring things on table with precision of data on which we are going to speak, we are going to argue, and we are going to stand for.
Through 4 powerful business sessions, West India's sharpest supply chain minds tackled the questions defining India's logistics decade. But the most valuable conversations at CargoNXT happened beyond the stage, where speakers, leaders, and industry decision makers connected in real time. 150 plus delegates, 100 plus CXOs, 25 plus speakers, and the kind of room where every handshake builds a connection. The CargoNXT West India edition was more than a summit. It was a collective step toward more resilient supply chains, more connected industry leadership, and a logistics ecosystem that is ready for what comes next. CargoNXT, connecting leaders, ideas, and the next generation of logistics.